Hey songbirds, it's me again, Jackie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today is JC VEDA day 16, and I can't believe it. We've made it past the halfway point. I'm loving it. I hope you are too. So today's topic we will be talking about, and it's highly requested, how to memorize a song. And I'm having a concert in about a week from today. And so I usually memorize 12 to 15 songs per concert, and these are the steps that I use to memorize songs. So this is the video for you if you are a singer or an actor or actress or a public speaker, or even have to just give a small speech from time to time in your place of business. These are the techniques that I use. So if this is something that interests you, please keep watching. That is so good. Okay, songbirds, so in order to memorize something, we really need to understand how the brain works. So I won't do too much of this, but it really is important, trust me. So your brain is like a hard drive, and it has two compartments for memorization, which is your long-term memory and your short-term memory. You've probably heard this all before. But the long-term memory it can hold a lot of information, but it is very limited in what it chooses to hold on to. So that's why you have to work extra hard in order for something to stick. And the short-term memory kind of protects the hard drive and that long-term memory from getting overloaded and getting rid of unnecessary information. It's working all the time. And so we have to kind of work, it's kind of like the security guard. You have to work really hard to get past that short-term memory in order to get into the other side. But if you use these 5 techniques that I'm about to share with you, you will, trust me, these will work and they will stick in your brain, okay? So with the short-term memory, just a quick bit of information. When you have tried to rehearse or look through or read or memorize something for the first time, within 1 hour's time, you are losing 50% of that information. Just 1 hour, that is crazy. So we need to work extra hard in those in-between times to make sure that we don't lose anything else, because if you don't repeat the process over time, then you'll lose even more of that 50%, and by 24 hours it becomes an additional 30%. So you've lost pretty much 80% of what you've really worked to cultivate and to memorize. So, okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about is you need to read. And reading is so important. I talk about this all the time on my channel, but when you get your script or you get your lyrics for the first time, you need to read them, and preferably out loud, because then you're packing 2 different senses. You are packing the audio, and you are also packing, actually it's 3, and the visual, and you are using your voice. So you're speaking, and so the more senses that you can use to solidify something in the brain, the better. The second tip is not really an R sound. So the 5 that I have start with R, or at least R sounds. So this is the second one, and that is to write. Okay, so once you've read your script or your lyrics, then you need to get out a sheet of paper and you can start to write out the lyrics. And that is activating the sensory of touch. And there is something about that physical act of with the pen or pencil in hand and writing out those lyrics, maybe even reading them aloud while you're writing them out, and that act of visualizing and looking at it, that really helps to solidify things and make them stay in the brain. But I would recommend, some people like to type out their words, but I think there is something completely powerful about using your actual physical pencil or pen and writing it out. So try to avoid using a keyboard. It's much better and much more effective if you use your pen and paper, just like old school. Okay, so the third thing that I want to talk about today is record. And I know I'm going to get a lot of eye rolls with that, but this is a method that I use all the time. I've been using it since my college days, and I also teach this when I'm teaching my students. Your recording device is one of your greatest teachers. Not to mention, it also is a hard lesson in what you really sound like, because what we think we sound like, we don't actually sound like. So recording is super important. And so you can use a device like on your iPhone. I'm using mine right now, and it's a fantastic tool. But just be careful when you're using the recording device, because you don't want to record it in monotone, and you don't want to record your lyrics incorrectly, because then you will learn them the wrong way. And once it's in there, when it is stored in that long-term memory, it's fantastic, but then you can't, it's almost like there is no delete button. So be very careful when you're using the recording device. Now the fourth and the fifth things will go kind of hand in hand. So number 4 is repetition, and 5 is rest. Did I spell that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I need to memorize how to spell that right. Okay, so repetition and rest, those are the last two. So when you are repeating something over and over, whether it be with the writing or the reading or the recording, when you are repeating those processes, you need to give your body and your brain time to rest. And the reason for that is the hard drive can become overloaded, just like anything else, just like your computers can. And you can actually seriously get a headache from brain overload, and basically it's like a burnout. So in order for it to really stick in, you want to give your body that time to rest. Otherwise, all your hard work is going to go down the drain, and you're not going to memorize it the right way, and it's going to be so frustrating. So my rule of thumb is after the first 15 to 20 minutes of rehearsing something or repeating something, then you take a 15 to 20 minute break. Do something that's preferably mindless, like watching a television show that's funny, or maybe sweeping the floor or doing a household chore, something where you're not using your brain very much, so that you can give your body that time to rest. Then within that time, you're going to repeat the process after an hour. Remember what I said about after an hour's time, you lose 50% of what you learn. So within an hour, then you're going to repeat the process, whether you're writing, reading, or recording, or all three. Then you will take another break for 6 to 8 hours. So that's a third break, 6 to 8 hours. And that gives your brain plenty of time to rest, recharge, kind of like plugging your phone in. And then you can go back and you're going to really push it home these last 2 times. The fourth time, after you've done your third intensive session, the fourth time, you need to wait 24 hours. And there's something magical that happens, and I do this a lot. I will try to memorize something before I go to bed. Then I have a long restful sleep, at least 8 hours. And in the morning, it's like everything has recharged and the circuits have come together and everything has locked into place. And then you want to repeat that every 24 hours. So you're going to do that multiple times until it is stuck in there. So one of the books that I would recommend that I got some of these tips from, but these are a lot that I've just used and worked on over the years. But the book that I like, that I wanted to recommend to you, that has a ton of other great tips and tricks, is Make It Stick. And I haven't finished it, so I'm really looking forward to implementing these strategies and to make things faster. I will link that below if you're interested in that. And I think there's a couple of other books. If you have any recommendations, feel free to comment below. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please don't hesitate to comment if you have any questions, or if I can help you or assist you in any way. These are tips that I use and they're recommended by me. They're fantastic. And I know that they're gonna work for me on Sunday next week. So I'm definitely going to be implementing these all week long so that I can make sure that my performance is stuck in there. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. Like this video if you found it helpful, and share it if you think of anybody else that might be interested in learning. Have a great day. Bye, guys.